Sweet, let's jump in. So quick intros. Right now, today, you just have Tim and I as far as the leadership team. So myself, my name is Ethan Lang. I'm currently the Senior Manager of Analytics at Playfair Data. I try to do a lot of stuff out there in the community. I'm a Tableau speaker for the Tableau Speaker Bureau. And all that means is, if you guys have an event or like either a tug event or want to learn more about Tableau, definitely feel free to reach out. Happy to speak at any events. Also, obviously, a co-lead of the Veterans Advocacy Group, and I try to do some stuff. I've been getting more involved with Tableau Public. I actually just submitted for the Iron Viz contest over this weekend, so that was exciting to get that out of the way. My God, a lot of late nights there. But Tim, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, sure. I'm Tim. I founded this group a few years ago with another guy who's not in the leadership group anymore. But I'm currently FAA employee at the Office of Commercial Space Transportation as a strategic planner and performance measures lead. So I do use Tableau a lot to visualize data involving licensing of commercial spacecraft and things like that. It's pretty cool. I was an Air Force vet, and yeah, I worked for the VA for about 7 years, and I just wanted to start this group to connect with vets and help out the mission and the cause.
Awesome. And then we do have a special guest, Alan Hillary, who's actually the sole purpose of this meeting. He reached out to us and had this awesome data set. And the moment I saw his email, I was like, oh my God, I'm just like so pumped. I want to do this so bad. And then I saw the data, I got even more excited. So I'm super pumped to show some of that stuff off today. But Alan, any words if you do want to do a quick intro on yourself?
Hi, I'm Alan. I'm happy to be here, glad to be here. I'm not a vet, but my dad was. He served Army and Air Force Reserve. I'm a Tableau social ambassador. This is my second term, and I enjoy doing activities like this that brings the community together. I teach data storytelling, and I was really excited to be here. So I'm going to give it back to Ethan because I know we're all excited to talk about the data challenge.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thanks, Alan.
Hey, Ethan, I'd be remiss. Chris Orrego, the guy that I started this with, is actually on right now. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. We appreciate it, man. Cool. Well, how did this whole event kind of kick off? I can go through the brief history that I'm aware of. So Alan has been in contact with this group, fantastic organization called CAF Rise Above, or CAF Rise Above. And what their whole mission is to kind of inspire young people to rise above adversity by using lessons and stories from these Tuskegee Airmen and the WASP and groups like that. They have a fantastic website that just has just a huge amount of resources and information. So I wanted to call them out as kind of the resource and how we've kind of gathered and worked with them to collect this information. I should say Alan worked with them, collected this information. It was really on his part that all of this kind of came together. So again, appreciate that. Just looking at it a little bit more, I wanted to show you guys kind of quickly one of the pages that I found really interesting from their site. They actually have a resource page that lists out all these individuals that flew and were a part of this air group. So again, just a ton of information. I would definitely check out, especially as you kind of start building your data visualization, go to their website. There might be data out there that maybe wasn't captured that you could grab from their website. So definitely recommend checking them out. And then just the organization itself, great organization, great cause. Check it out. I know they would really appreciate that. All right. So that kind of brings us to the event itself. So what we were thinking for this event is to tell the story of the Tuskegee Airmen. The data set that we have, it includes a pilot roster. It includes a data set on if anyone was captured as a POW. There's data on who was KIA or MIA on missions. And there's also a fighter group comparison data set in there. This screen grab, Alan, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm blanking on the name of the original creator of this.
Yeah, so this data viz was done by Anthony Starks. He's co-leading the Du Bois Challenge. And just to give you a little bit more background, so he styled this particular data viz off of one of Du Bois visualizations, because one of the ideas was that we were looking to kind of bring different data sets to the Du Bois Challenge. And I also wanted to do the Tuskegee Air Challenge. So this is kind of a marriage of the two. But yeah, it was done by Anthony Starks.
Awesome. I'm actually just looking up, just to kind of show you guys a little bit more. This is some work from Du Bois, but these are different data visualizations that he created. So you can see there how that styling was introduced with this original data visualization that Anthony created. So again, obviously, we wanted to kick this thing off today, and we're using this hashtag. So if you guys wanted to post on LinkedIn or Twitter, definitely feel free to use hashtag Tuskegee Airman Challenge if you want to promote your work and promote the cause. All right, there we go. All right, so the data, I posted the data on my GitHub account. Let me just quickly go through that. And Tim, actually, I think I can post it in the chat real quick. I'll post that in the chat so everybody has it. I'll link to it. There we go. So if you go to this link, you can download the data from there. And like I said, in the data set, let me pull that up. We can kind of quickly run through it together as a team. So we have a ton of information, starting with the pilot roster. So you can see here, again, this is coming from CAF Rise Above. But this is all of the pilots and some information on, the type of the type of airplane they flew, their hometown, where they graduated from, the class, their rank at graduation. So we have states, we have aerial victory credits, and number of aerial victory credits. If they had a profile on CAF's website, there's a link to that. So just a ton of info here. Let's see, we have a total of 248 pilots here. So a lot of good information on just that alone. Then we also have POW data. So this is the different airmen that were shot down and taken as a prisoner of war. So it says where they were downed at, what aircraft they were flying when that happened, their unit, their name, and then a date. Same thing with KIA. Oh, this is formatted weird. KIA or MIA, excuse me. So this is the date, the time, if there was one recorded, a kind of area that occurred, the cause, squadron, pilot's name, again, the aircraft they were flying, that kind of stuff. And then the last is a fighter group comparison. So there's 4 squadrons here, or excuse me, 4 fighter groups with different amounts of squadrons on them. So, and then it has some different informations on each of those groups. So we can see how many aces, victories per aircraft. This is a really interesting statistic, in my opinion, but it's the bombers lost to the enemy if that aircraft or if this fighter group was escorting that bomber. So you can see these are actually pretty low percentages for World War II. That's our data set. Does anybody just have any kind of questions or anything while we're together as a group on the data itself?
Hey, Ethan, I noticed when you were showing the roster,
Yeah.
can you go back to that?
Yeah.
So for some reason, column H also is twin engine. There should be some single engine in there. So we'll need to figure out why it's also single engine, twin engine.
Gotcha.
Most of these guys flew single engines.
Yeah, it's a good call out. Yeah, we could take a look at that. If there are any updates to the data set, I don't plan on making any. But if we do post any updates, I'll definitely reach out to the whole group on our through email, through the splash page. So anyone that attended this event specifically, I'll definitely reach out to you guys to let you know if we made any changes, but I don't foresee that as of now. But that's definitely a good call out, Tim, for sure. Any other questions from the group?
So are people free to bring, I guess, additional data in with this, or do we want to share the additional data, or I guess
You
what your thoughts
have
are?
free creative aspect to do whatever you would like. So bring in additional data. For instance, like one of the things I was thinking of, just to kind of show you guys where my head was to compare some of these, like if I could find statistics from other fighter groups to see maybe if this is like an outlier or far below average. I think that'd be an interesting call out. So definitely feel free to bring in any kind of additional information. If you want to share that with the group as you kind of think through this and work through it, definitely feel free. On Slack, you could probably just share it right there to the entire like VA tug. Everyone that's in our group on Slack, you could share it there. So everyone's tracking. There's additional data sets that might be interesting to other folks.
Hey, Ethan.
Yeah.
Is that data set filtered? Because I just downloaded from your GitHub and there's over 1,000 pilots on the roster, and I see single engine,
Oh, okay.
twin
See,
engine.
man, I don't have a filter on. Maybe I'm just messed up here.
Yeah, Ethan, I was going to mention that to you offline. Yeah, I do. There is, I think the person who got it like 1,000. It was. I remember it being around 1,000. Maybe, yeah, maybe you filtered and copy pasted the filtered data set.
Okay, I think I see what I did here. There's actually a separate tab. Sorry, everybody. It's this pilot roster, the raw data tab. This has all the information here.
Okay.
I think I just
You started
crashed my Excel.
analyzing, slicing, and dicing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my fault. It looks like I updated that pilot roster, but not the pilot roster raw data tab is the tab you want. Just for the group, before we kick off, I'll go ahead and delete that pilot roster tab. So just look for that raw data tab, and then I'll update it in the GitHub. So there's no confusion. Let's see, any other questions? Actually, just
Are we using the hashtag on Tableau Public when we post these vizzes?
That would be
Yeah.
good too. That would be
Yeah,
good.
definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna add that would be good too to help track it, because I know Tableau is, the team is looking to track like visits of the day or things of that nature. So it'll be good to have it tagged.
Okay, so we're using the Tuskegee Airmen Challenge hashtag.
Yes.
Okay.
Any
Yeah,
other questions?
I would just encourage everyone to read up maybe on the Tuskegee Airmen, to know their story. That'll probably give you a better idea of how you want your biz to flow and what story you want to tell. So there's tons of resources out there. And Alan, I think you sent us something that
Oh yeah.
that one historian sent you, right?
Yes, we're working with a historian at CAF, and he sent the write-up on the victories that the airmen had, as well as some of their backstory. So
Yeah, but anything you find on any valid website, I think it just important to educate yourself on the Tuskegee Airmen before you dive into a visualization.
yeah, their
That's
story is I think their story is very important to read about. So definitely.
All right. Any other questions from the audience? I'm trying to go back through chat real quick and see if I missed anything.
Out of curiosity, what's the source of this data? Like, is this data available for all pilots during World War II, and this is just a subset, or do we know where like the pilot roster is being pulled from?
Pilot roster is coming from the CAF website that was mentioned during the meeting. My opinion that it's been between Dr. Holman, who's a historian, and in addition to people who are maybe crowdsourcing, like relatives and friends of the pilots, they're
Okay.
putting together that information, and that's how the site is displaying the pilot roster.
Okay, cool.
And Tim, there's actually a question on how do they get into the Slack group?
Oh, okay.
Do you mind speaking to that?
Yeah, I'll actually paste a link. People just want to be patient. 1 second.
Perfect.
There's an invite link. If I can figure it out, I also have to. And Ethan, are you able to upload other sorts of data to GitHub? Like, I'm not very familiar with GitHub, but like just like PDFs or any, like we can upload the historians, whatever he sent and everything, or like an example of the what we're presenting now about the.
Yeah, we can update that repository, and that's actually a good, I think, just to tie back a couple of questions from earlier. You know, if you do find anything that you think would be interesting to the group, definitely hit that out in Slack, the Slack channel. But if you wanted to send it to me as well, I can post it in this repository. So that way other folks have access to it as well, if that's something you can share or do want to share. Any other questions? Let's see any others in the chat.
Ethan, there's a question about like just working together on teams. I mean, I guess what is the actual competition is, and forgive me if I missed this. Is there like a deadline? Is there a prize, or is this just kind of meant for us to come together and build some really nice vizzes to support the cause?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. It's actually the next thing I was going to transition into. For this challenge, we are anticipating like ending the challenge per se towards the end of the month. I believe that date is February 28th. We're still kind of looking at the time and setting that event up. So more to come on that. But shoot for the 28th or the end of this month to kind of complete or wrap up the challenge. Obviously, if you don't hit that deadline, still feel free to continue working on it. Really, this is also an opportunity to build your own Tableau public portfolios. So just continue working on it. And even if you wanted to submit something for the challenge, but you also want to submit something later, I think that's a great idea just to see how the growth and how that's changed. So yeah, does that answer your question on that?
It's good for timeline.
Perfect. As far as teams, definitely feel free to team up. Obviously, anything with Tableau, you know, we want the community to kind of come together on this stuff. So if there's any opportunity for you to work with another individual, whether that's on this call or someone you know personally that you want to kind of team up with to brainstorm ideas and come together on a single idea, I think that's fantastic. Feel free to do that for sure.
I just pasted a invite link to our Slack. If you guys want to click on that, make sure it works.
Yeah, and I just wanted to quickly add too. So Yeah, the Tuskegee Airmen Challenge is new this year, but the Du Bois Challenge happened last year. So just some experience I saw with it, just addressing some of the questions. Like even though there's like a timeline that we have for the challenges, in this case, end of the month, I find that they still go past the deadline. I find that if you begin to share across Tableau Public or Twitter, even LinkedIn, that it goes viral. People start having conversations and more people join in. So for the Du Bois challenge, it's a 10-week challenge due to the fact that there's 10 visualizations that we're looking at. And even though we've seen it like last year go past the deadline, or people are still talking about it. So, and as far as team efforts, like Ethan mentioned, I think it's great to do it that way. I know some people are planning to do some visualizations around the Du Bois challenge as well as Tuskegee. Outside of the challenge, they're doing a more involved data viz. So yeah, I think the main thing is just for this to be a community event. And like Ethan said, to kind of grow your Tableau Public portfolio.
I'm adding a Tuskegee Airman channel to the Slack, so we can update everyone in that if you want to join it.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim.
Yep.
Cool. Any other questions? Let me see.
One more, sorry, I have one more question here, Brian.
Yeah,
I'm the
course.
customer success manager here at Tableau supporting DoD. Do you have any issues with us like pushing this challenge like to a wider audience across other veterans in DoD, or do you want to keep it, I guess, limited to current members, or do we want to use this to drive more membership in the TUG? Or
No, definitely. I would say feel free to push it out to your entire network. This isn't about our TUG at all. This is really about this challenge and about telling the story of these individuals. So that's the most important part. I would say push it out to, whoever you want. If they want to join our membership or get involved with our TUG, definitely have them, subscribe to our account on our hub page on Splash. Or join our group on LinkedIn and things like that to communicate with the other memberships or members from our group. But yeah, the most important thing is definitely just spreading the word, having fun, telling the story of these individuals. That's the most important. Fantastic. Well, I know I'm excited. It sounds like Alan and I are going to team up. There's some additional information we're going to put into that GitHub repository, most likely tonight. And then I'll make that one tweak to the data. I'll remove that tab that's kind of causing confusion. It looks like it was just a weird subset of the data. But if there's any other questions, definitely feel free to reach out to Tim or I or Alan. We're happy to help answer questions or even brainstorm or team up and kind of come up with cool ideas. Sounds like we have a veteran, Will. He's already offering to team up with you guys. So take advantage for sure. Cool. All right, team. Well, that's all I had. I'll stay on just in case there's any other questions from the audience. But feel free to check out that GitHub page. Like I said, we'll have some additional data sources tonight. And yeah, happy visiting.
Thanks everyone, and I'm posting my LinkedIn also in the chat. But you guys can, if you have questions, we have our Twitter site. Let's see, it's that's at Doug. That's our Twitter. We're on LinkedIn, so that's my LinkedIn page. But also, if you just click on or search Veterans Advocacy Tableau user group within LinkedIn, you'll find our group. So yeah, there's several different ways to get a hold of us. And Slack, please join Slack. I think that'd be great. I want to utilize that a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. Alan,
Okay.
do you have a few minutes after this?
Yeah, I was going to mention I can meet up with you right after.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, everyone. I guess we'll stick around for a little bit. I'll stop the recording though, and but we'll be hanging out if anybody wants to look at the data, and if you guys need to troubleshoot with GitHub or whatever. But we'll stay on for a few more minutes. All right, but those that are not staying, thank you for joining. Appreciate it.
appreciate it,
Can't
everybody.
wait to see what you guys come up with.